Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another GSL cast. Today we have Reynor versus Maru from the round of 8 Group B. And I've been talking a little bit with Reynor, just with a lot of Zergs in general, because I've been practicing a lot of my own Zerg play. And it's always interesting and fun to see how far removed you can be from the experience of an actual top player. So my Zerg right now is rank 60 on the Grandmaster ladder in Europe, which I think is, I'm happy with that achievement. I'm kind of proud of it. I share it on the many social media apps that I have. I often text my dad, another 5 ranks added to my Zerg. And he tells me, no one cares, you're a Protoss player. But, I still tell them. And I'm proud of it. And I'd like to think that my experience is similar to the top dogs. It's only 50 ranks away, between me and one of the top 10 players on the ladder. But it's not actually the case. We're not that close. When I talk with the high-level Zerg players, the things they struggle with are so different than the things I struggle with. I struggle with not losing my first Overlord to a Marine that gets built. I struggle not dying against the first 6 Hellions, taking out 35 of my workers and the next 2 Banshee, killing the remaining 20 workers that I still have. But when you talk with a top Zerg, it's like, okay, early game they feel pretty okay about everything, but they really struggle with Adrax openers out of Terrans, and they also really struggle with mech in particular. Whenever I talk with Zerg players, this is what they tell me. Mech and Adrax, this is the bane of their existence, and just tanky ghost compositions. I mean, ghost plus tanks, not, there's no armor upgrade for ghost that makes them more tanky, but just tanks and ghosts that they still struggle with in the late game as well. But yeah, generally, mech and Adrax are the 2 main things that especially Reynor seems to, dislike, at least a little bit. So we're gonna see if that is something that is up Maru's alley, because Maru has played a lot of mech in the past. Currently the most popular form of mech I think is the Cyclone mech, not so much the more campy tank mech that Maru used to play a bunch. So we'll see if this is something he will deploy in this series. For now though, just a triple CC, what is this, 6 Hellion? Yeah, 6 Hellion, 2 Banshee. This is pretty much the golden standard right now in Terran versus Zerg. It is a very consistent opener that provides very consistent results for Terran. You have a chance always to deal an extraordinary amount of damage, but very frequently you don't deal an extraordinary amount of damage, and it's still okay, it is still fine. Cloak here is gonna finish in about 2 seconds, and this is actually going to net Maru a couple of kills, I think. Still in range of the Spore right now. I think he could angle himself in such a way. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. He should probably have committed a little longer to see if he got 1 more kill, but 2 kills takes a fair amount of damage, so not the greatest thing he could have done, but not bad. Not bad at all. Second Banshee should be out somewhere as well. I don't actually see it fly. Am I stupid? Oh, it's over here, right there in the natural. There you go. Barracks 4 and 5 coming in as well at the same time, and wow. That is something we don't see every single day. Actually, that is something we hardly ever see. In particular, because of the Adrax being such a popular choice right now. Muta is really difficult to have as a tech to deal with Adrax, because you're investing in a lot of units that kind of need to pay off over time, right? You want to harass, you want to pick up stuff over time, use that regeneration. But Adrax often revolves around a single or 2 major fights, and Mutas are very expensive, and they're not great at direct fighting. So this is why currently it is not very popular to play it. Now, on this map it is a little bit more popular, or it should be a bit more popular, due to the nature of the base layout here. It is difficult for Terran with a multi-rex play to go over here. So if Zerg expands to a fort base in a line, it becomes difficult to attack. If they take this as a fort, I mean, there's freaking tanks over here, easy attacking points. But the Terran needs to deny the fort base. That is absolutely vital. So if they can't do that, then it's usually not a great map. So I'm expecting a fort CC to go down in a couple of seconds from now, second factory to be added in, and for Maru to play a more standard late game. As the first 7 mutas are now out, and 1-1's almost... Oh, he actually is starting the extra rares, are they? At the third. This is very old school. Changeling is going to spot. Look at that. It's going to spot those 3 racks instantly. This is why nowadays when we see Adrax, it frequently is in the main base or in the natural. Much more hidden from Zergling run-bys as well as Changeling scouts. And that Changeling scout was invaluable here, honestly, for Reynor. Reynor is... He's still skipping the 1-1 upgrades right now. Look at that. No ups on the Evo chambers. This is not a fully committed 8 racks, by the way. I think Maru realized it got scouted and said, hey, I'm going to throw down a 4CC. So this might just be an 8 racks with instant tech labs. So you can transition out of it pretty quickly if you just don't build a lot of units out of it. Instant tech labs, get a bunch of Marauders. No, it's going to be naked Marine still, so it's going to be quite committed here. As 7 Mutas make their way into the main base, we'll be capable of shooting down some of these SCVs. Medevac's coming to heal, but 5-6 workers already going down. Reynor is stopping at 7 Mutas straight away here. So he says, hey, I still want to use the tech that I got. But I also realize if I go 12 Mutas, 15 Mutas, that is 3k resources that I don't have in a fighting army. I don't think that is the correct solution to the build that you're playing here. As he's dealing very accurately with this little drop. Barrow's about to finish up. He's actually going to add 8 more Mutas. Yeah, this comes off the back of scouting that 4CC being added in. So actually beautiful play here. Out of Reynor, it's like, hey, I'm going to delay my upgrades. I'm going to delay Muta production until I see you add a fort base. And now the fort base gets added. Maru probably is going to get tech labs on here as well. We're still going to see a push out of him. There's actually going to be an insane timing where he will have 2-2, while Reynor won't even have +1. There is going to be a timing. It's not going to be a very large timing, maybe 30, 45 seconds or so, something along those lines. But the timing will exist. The timing will absolutely exist. And it's going to hit about the same time as Maru is going to be hitting max. So this is a very scary prospect here for Reynor, who continues expanding towards the right side. Kind of has this low ground area occupied with Ling Bane. There's a lot of Banelings already. We're going up to 29, 8 more instantly morph as well. Infestation Pit on the way to get that hive going. Reynor is maxed out. And the moment you max out with Muta, you want to start trading. Because your army just isn't increasing much in strength anymore, while your opponents is going to be increasing in strength. And your goal is to kind of keep Maru away from the max out while you are consistently maxing out due to superior economy. You're just throwing Banelings at the problem pretty much. Banelings, money, Banelings, boom, boom, boom. And then eventually maybe you can get a breakthrough with a high Muta count, see if you can harass a little bit. Maru here is going to hit with a very tight 2-2 timing. Look at this. Ooh, good Muta control. 1 tank's going to get taken out. 2 tanks have been damaged pretty significantly. I wouldn't mind a couple of SCVs coming in to repair this. This is a 4 upgrade advantage right now for Maru, who, if he gets a good enough fight, could potentially just win the game here. 4 upgrades is a massive deal. It is huge. It absolutely is huge. He wants to take it slow though. He's trying to clear creep. I wouldn't have minded if he had done this before his 2-2 had finished, as now ground carapace level 1 is about to finish up. That's going to somewhat equalize it here for Reynor. Maru's army count is still growing. Reynor's Baneling count is still growing. So that is the one way you can kind of increase your army power, is by adding in a higher Bane count. It's going to go up to 49 Banes right now, as this Ling run by is going to run in. But it's 1-1 versus 2-2 Marines. Like, you're not going to have a great trade. You're just not going to have a great trade. I think some tanks might have fallen here, right? Am I crazy? Okay, 2 tanks have gone down in total. Another tank might die here. Muta Ling run by, despite the superior upgrades for the Marine. It's actually going to work out quite well. At least, denying Maru that max out. Reynor still easily can max if he wants to. He has the hive done at this point as well, so I'm expecting Adrenal Glands. Ultralisk Cavern is most likely going to be the next step, because you have these melee heavy upgrades. We sometimes do see late game lurkers, but it is just it's very rare. It is just very, very rare. Adding in more and more Mutas though, so it's going to go back up to 17. Adrenal indeed. So it's getting the upgrades rolling. Doesn't really have to gas for anything else. Gas is going into the Muta and Bane, I guess. It's a lot of links. Still with crap upgrades though. But look, Maru will respond in time, right? He has a sensor tower. Yeah, there you go. It's going to lift that depot, and the further this creep recedes, the easier it's going to be for Maru to eventually just push across. Tank is going to siege up. Repair here isn't big enough, but with a tank and even just 10 Marines, this might be okay. Well, now that the Mutas come in, it's going to be a little bit harder. Tank will get knocked out. Medevac's going down as well. And Reynor, by counterattacking, is going to keep this 5th or 4th base alive. Has a couple more bases on the right side, of course. So he's up to 7 already. Main base has now been breached as well. Dude, Reynor is playing one hell of a game here with pretty much just utilizing Ling Muta to go for the counterattacks while pure Bane defense. This is working out extremely well. Surprisingly well. Ooh, bad attack move there. Loses a couple of Mutas into the Marines. has lost 15 mutas in total, rebuilds 5, and indeed the Ultra Cavern now coming out. We have Carapace level 2 about to finish up, but 3-3 is already done for Maru. So Maru will retain his upgrade lead, but his eco disadvantage is definitely going to be a pain point here. Yes, he's up to 5 base. Yes, he's adding a lot of these turrets. I actually think an absolute key upgrade here, now that 3-3 is done, is going to be building armor as well as the turret range. I'm just blanking on the name of the upgrade right now. High-sec auto-tracking, there you go. It's only been in the game for 15 years, so can't really blame me for that. Concussive Shell hadn't been researched, despite a decent immortal count already for a long time in this game. Do we have any Thors in the mix? Yeah, we have 1 Thor right now. Yeah, like high-sec auto-tracking and building armor here would actually be huge. Medevac could go for a Thor lift to try and clear some of these mutas. We have 2 turrets in the main base. Don't forget that these mutas are +2, so they actually snipe turrets extremely quickly. Even with repair, like, you can often kind of damage through here. As I'm going to keep an eye on this, but I also want to keep an eye on this area over here, because I think Reynor is being forced into giving up this base. The repair just barely is going to be good enough, but I think eventually the bounce is going to clear enough SCVs that the mutas will end up winning. We also see Maru returning back home as a Ling run by once again is going to hit the natural. Banelings are roaming freely as well. The depot wall has disappeared. And Maru losing 21 workers here. We have Burrow on the Lings. I think Maru is fast enough that he knows that something got burrowed here. But he's still going to need to use a scan to reveal those guys at least. And if he doesn't reveal them, that could be bad. A couple of random Banelings are burrowed here. That is hilarious. Chitinous plating finishing up. That's going to make these Ultralisks much more efficient in their movement. +3 melee hasn't started yet, for whatever reason. +3 attack for the air has started. And these mutas are kind of continuing dealing a lot of damage. We're not adding in any new ones. Still has 6 remaining. There's a couple. This looks fine. This absolutely looks fine for Reynor. Yes, the supply for Maru is significantly better when it comes to the army supply. Like, he's at 137 to 110. But the Baneling count's only on 25. That's not even that high. That is not even that high. We don't have any catch either with Infestors. We don't really have any casters in the form of Vipers either. So this actually is a little bit scary, where if Reynor is fighting away from his bases, it's probably okay because he has the time to remax. But what happens if Maru attacks a base, wins a fight? He can probably wipe 2-3 bases before the reinforcements show up, right? Because if you're reinforcing as a Zerg, just Ling isn't enough. You're going to need Banelings. Those take a long time to morph. You're going to need Ultras as well. Okay, that base is going to fall. I don't think this is going to be a winning fight, though, for Maru. It's not a losing fight either. I mean, he's just going to pick up big mine hit. Oh, he doesn't have Drilling Claws. Okay, he's now... Oh, it must have been killed. I've seen it being researched before, so it must have been killed. This tank position is bonkers, by the way. Holy crap. Good luck ever clearing this without Mutalisk. That's going to be tough as hell. It's going to be tough as hell. We have another run by over here. We have a couple of Ultras now. Probably trying to kill this base. There's quite a bit of Sim City. Ultras are great at targeting SCVs, by the way, as we have another fighter on the bottom side as well. Still no Infestors in the mix. This Ultra run by is actually dealing serious damage. I think this base is just gonna fall. Oh, that is a big deal. That is a huge deal. Yes, there's a backup base, but 17 workers, plus one of the remaining mining bases for Maru. Like, yeah, that ain't nice. What the hell? This base has 10 patches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 10 patches. 6 of which are rich. Or rich, they're big. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I thought this was just an 8-patch base without gases. But instead of 2 gases, you get 2 extra mineral setups. Maru actually is struggling for gas, though, so something he needs to fix. He's getting refineries over here. He's going to need to get refineries over here as well soon. Reynor setting up a Baneling Ultra attack. Ooh, sending in a lot of Lings over here. They could all end up dying. This is something you shouldn't forget, is that Ling run-bys, they are committed. Like, you can't just recall out of there or put yourself in a dropship and go for it. Reynor's going to run into this position. Said, hey, I want to clear this. If I can, that would be great. If I can, it'll be a lot less great. And he's going to clear that planetary. He runs a couple of Banelings into this thing. We have Lings now burrowing on the left side. Yeah, they're going to get spotted. Reynor still tries, but it's not going to be good enough. I think Reynor needs to just kind of reset up over here. Maru's playing a game of whack-a-mole, of run-bys and attacks, and Reynor just an endless supply, like an endless stream here of Ultralisk Link. He's building 7 Ultras at a time. 7 Ultralisk at a time. He's adding in a crap ton of links. He's just playing a pure melee style right now. Makes you wonder, by the way, why you don't see any Liberators yet. There's now one building. But we don't have any ghosts either. This is such a... I don't want to call this a primitive army, because Terran armies are never primitive. Like, even if it's just pure Marine, that's, you know, high-tech enough often to go into the late game. But we are lacking ghosts. We are lacking tanks. We are lacking Liberators. We're lacking these kind of key units that Terran wants to have in order to deal with tier 3 Zerg. This tank is crazy. This tank is crazy. Okay, this tank is... Look at this. 15 kills. This guy is untouchable. Untouchable. Gonna get an attack over here on the left side right now. Oh no, Reynor. I don't think this is enough. Has a couple of banings now coming in. It's going to be a close battle. It's gonna get cleared. There's no backup command center here either. That is a huge deal, because this is one of the, what, 2.5 remaining bases that are still mining. This is going to severely limit Maru here. We have a new orbital command now flying over. Is that from the main? Yeah, it's from the main. What's our overall orbital count? We have 6 orbitals, so that is pretty decent. We have an orbital on the right side. Lots of mines covering the right as well, by the way. Lots of mines covering the right. 18 mines total. How many do we have on this screen? We have 8 mines on this screen, so 10 mines elsewhere. Oop. Yeah, big mines. It's so difficult for Zerg to deal with this, with run-bys. It's like, if there's mines splattered around everywhere, like you just run into a position, you're gonna lose half of your links by the time you get there. And you just need Overseers in the mix. You need Overseers in the mix. Without Overseers, you just can't do it. Worker count is 35 to 75. Income is 2,200 to about 700. And I think Reynor, slowly but surely, is starting to realize that... Oh my god, this was a hugely beneficial trade here for Reynor, who's going to kill some tanks. Let me hold my thought. I think he's starting to realize that he cannot win a split map scenario here. So he actually really needs to kind of push the issue a bit harder, and that's what he's doing. He's running in these ultras, but there's no real... Like, you can't put this army in its place, you know? You can't leave them... Like, your ultras are not going to get enough swipes in. Yeah, Infestors, I think this is too late for Infestors already. He lost 518 links in one game. That is ridiculous. I mean, usually we see way higher Baneling counts being lost, right? Like, this is a weird ratio. This is 1 to 10 link to Baneling lost. This has been practically pure Ling. This has been practically pure Ling Ultra. Like, actual caveman style over here. You're just running at the other dude with your jaws, with your claws. Animalistic behavior out of Reynor, who does play like a beast sometimes, but this is unsophisticated, even for him. As mines are going to be setting up, we have a couple of Liberators. This is potentially an issue. No Ghost in the mix means that Corruptors are a bit more free in their movement, as more mines do showed up. Kiting, not quite good enough, and the Baneling still alive. Here comes the first fungal of the game, man. It is huge. It is massive. The surprise fungal, just minus 30 supply at an instant, and the GG gets called. Unreal. I really think that was almost a textbook Mura game. Because Mura games are supposed to be scrappy. They're supposed to be active. This is the thing about Mura games, is when people look at that and they think like, oh, is this like a blueprint that I can just kind of go for? You know, they move out and I make this move. They walk to the left, I make this move. And it is really difficult in Mura games to have like a super strong blueprint on what you should be doing exactly in each moment. I think, like, if you boil it down to every single decision, there's probably some type of decision tree you can get. But a lot of it, when it comes to like Mura, Ling, Bane stuff, is going to be very intuitive from the Zerg perspective, as well as from the Terran perspective. It is a lot less about hard rules and a lot more about what feels right in this moment. Because you're going to have way less repetitions in a Mura game. Like, it doesn't flow the same way that a lot of other types of games flow, because there's no hard or real... There's no hard counters, it feels like, to the comp. It is a lot, way more movement-based and engagement-based and state of the game is like, what is the creep spread like right now? Like, where's my opponent expanding to? Where's the army? Where's the second portion of the army? And I think Reynor just maneuvered that extraordinarily well, despite working with a composition, like I said, that was very unsophisticated. It's pure Ling Ultra, and then once that one Infestor comes in, I think a little bit too late. Personally, I believe that Infestor probably could have been there earlier, but once that shows up, I mean, that's the freaking... That's the finishing blow. Like, that game could have lingered on for 5-6 more minutes. Reynor starting to, you know, lose bases, and it becomes hard in a split map. This is an interesting opener, by the way. 6 Ling pool first here against a 2 Marine move out to clear an Overlord, and I think Reynor's gonna get both of these Marines here. No! SCV's coming in, it's gonna save everything. Oh my god. Chaos averted here. If these 2 Marines die, there are no Marines out. That means no reactor here. Because you have to build single Marines in order not to lose your entire wall, to not lose his SCV over 5 times. Like, that was a huge deal here. And I think blunderous movement out of Reynor. I think he got a little bit too greedy there. Probably could have split off some more links towards the bottom side, towards this area to make sure they can't escape. And maybe you lose 1 or 2 more links because you don't have enough DPS on the Marines all the time. But you guarantee the kill. You secure the kill 100% of the time. Right now, there's still going to be a follow-up. We have a 6 Roach follow-up coming in right now. Starport's coming up on the high ground. It's going to be a Hellion defense. Oh, no. Oh, no. This Hellion isn't even scouting. Okay, I think Maru realized, he's like, hey, wait a second. Why are you sending links in? You see that I have a Hellion. This is weird as hell. And he's building Marines as a result. If this would have been 2 more Hellions, and there was no tech lab on the way, I think this game just ends. But right now, there might be a chance for Maru to hold. We have a bunch of Roaches coming out. Cyclone starts. This is not a unit you usually build at this phase of the game, because it's very gas heavy, it's expensive, and it doesn't harass very well. So we're going to get a medevac and Marines. This is going to be the defense. Bunker goes down right now. Do we have a supply drop available? We don't have a supply block available. It's going to become available in about 3 seconds from now. I wonder if he's going to be capable of using it here, or if he even wants to use it. I think it might be worthwhile to actually use it. It's not going to get used. This thing fails. This thing falls. That means the door is now open, and a couple of these Marines are going down. Cyclone pops out. The Roaches try to micro back. Not the greatest job here out of Reynor. The Cyclone with that fast cooldown on the lock-on is going to clear some stuff. Yeah, Reynor's in a world of trouble. Reynor is in a world of trouble over here. As I think Maru is just going to be holding this. 30 workers to 33. 2 base versus 2 base. The ability to counterattack and probably kill a couple of Overlords on the map. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Maybe even something in the main base could go down as well. So, yeah, it's going to most likely be -1-2 Overlords from here on out. We're going to have Cloak Banshee behind this. We're working with 2 Queens, no Lair. Good luck, my dear friend. Actually, Maru here might just go for a kill and force out some more units. Cyclone's gonna lock on from a distance. So that's going to be -1 Ravager here. Lock on becomes available in about a half a second. There we go. All of this is just going to straight up die. Cyclone stays alive, can now start bullying drones and maybe even attacking this hatchery. If Queens come off creep, you can just easily lock on as well. Like, this is a whole can of worms that Reynor absolutely did not want opened. He did not want this whatsoever. Banshee's gonna make its way across the map. We have a tank behind this, 3rd CC, extra barracks coming out as well. And this is looking genuinely awful. This is looking genuinely awful. Is this drone's gonna fall? 3 shots of the Cyclone. And boom goes the dynamite. Banshee on the way to the main base. Where are we at with our spores? We have a spore over in the natural. We have a spore going up in the... Where are you? In the main base, but I think it's going to be too late. Banshee cloaking field finishing up in right about now. Yeah, pre-cloaks already. It's going to get 2 kills here and then could potentially move to a 3rd base. Not sure if it's going to get many more kills there though. Okay, it's going to get 3 actually. Very reasonable. 4! Oh, nice control here out of Maru. Is going to get 1 more kill over here. Oh, no, he's not. Did not want to commit. There's 5 Queens. Is a little risky. He's going to get 1 or 2 fat shots to the face. He's not going to enjoy that very much. Not many people do. Banshee in the middle sees a bunch of links out. I think these links are a little bit early, by the way. There's no indication of a move out quite yet. It's probably... I mean, it's still half a minute, 45 seconds away, so it could have been maybe 10 more drones. I understand that Reynor is afraid, but you probably need to take a little bit of risk here in this game. I'm being real honest. This is not the type of situation where we just play a standard macro game from. He's going to throw down a baning nest, lair just now. Fort pace going down, 7 minutes in game, hardly any creep spread. Queen count has been boosted a little bit to 7. So that means 5 queens defensively, if they're all in a group. Let's take a look at the first person here out of Maru. And there's really kind of 2 approaches Maru can take here. He can keep the lead, like kind of secure the lead by keeping tanks and banshees at home so that run-bys can't kill him. Or he can take the tanks and be like, hey, I believe I can kill a fort base. I think both plays are valid. There are obvious trade-offs, you know, with both of them. You trade safety for, you know, the less aggression, basically, or more aggression, depending which option you take. I wouldn't have minded keeping like 2 banshees at home and sending tanks here as well. I think with 2 tanks on the low ground, you might just end up straight up winning, as double banshee now is going to run in. So he prefers the approach where he splits the banshees off and says, hey, I actually want to get some drone kill. I want the safety of the tanks at home and I want some drone kills. Going to follow it up. Oh, okay. This makes a lot of sense. Going to follow it up with Atrax. So this makes a lot of sense to not take the tanks in this case. He says, my strategy of choice is going to be an Atrax. If my strategy of choice is an Atrax, that is hinging on having a high tank count. I don't want to lose those tanks before I have a decent count and I know that a position can't be cleared. So he was testing the waters there with that initial double drop, and now he says, hey, I've tested the waters. I know what the water is like. It's fine. There's no sharks. There's a tiny fish that might have some teeth. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he can punch it in the face. Reynor is that fish. And I think this fish is about to be punched real hard and it's not going to be doing a whole lot of swimming anymore in this game. I think this fish is going to be on the grill very soon. And I think Maru is going to be enjoying a beautiful poisson meal, as the French would call it. Because, yeah, Reynor down 20 supply here. 4cc does get thrown down very rapidly, so we're going to get a small cut in marine production. I think Maru here is just, he's playing it overly safe from an aggressive perspective. Basically saying, he's just putting some caveats in there, right? Saying, hey, I want a 4cc just in case I eventually get cleaned up off of like a medium-low drone count. I'll have this 4cc. I'm not going to get cleaned up now, but maybe, you know, Reynor keeps kind of leapfrogging to outside bases and gets enough banes in the end. And we're going to get a split drop coming in towards the top as well. Reynor already ready for it, which is insanely impressive, by the way. Splitting armies accurately while you're down 30 supply is really difficult. It's already difficult if you're even in supply. He's doing it while down in supply. So this hold so far is great, but Maru's still in the absolute driver's seat. And yeah, Reynor is tied up in the back of the car. And he's still in the car for now, but yeah, he's about to get chopped up. He is in some serious trouble. Because his supply ain't growing. His stack ain't... Oh, actually his hive. Never mind. Yeah, he's gonna try to clear this position. Let's see if he can. Tanks in neat spots over here. Target fire with the tanks wasn't great. But we do have another double drop coming in here. Targets 1 bay, targets 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them go down. Boom, boom, boom. And the score is 1-1. Honestly, phenomenal play out of Maru in that previous game. Like, in the early game, there are very small reads that he makes with little information, right? So he sees the Ling movement and it gives away what is coming. And as a result, he does not swap barracks and factory, and instead gets the tag lap on the factory. And that is, I'm not saying it's a game-ending move for Reynor, but it is very, very influential. It is extremely influential. So yeah, big ups to him. Reynor once again opening with a pool first. Oh, nice. He had such a nice first game. Such a solid macro game. Insanely good opener. And look, I love diversity of build order in the early game. Okay, I'm a huge fan of it, but I often feel like diversity of build order needs to still serve a purpose. Like, you can make a decent case for playing suboptimal builds in order to boost your overall win rate. but they need to serve a purpose in your build order, in your build order lineup, pretty much. And I think Reynor cannot sell a realistic pool first here anymore in this scenario. He is 1-1 after winning a macro game and failing an all-in. So if you scout this, okay, if you're Maru and you scout a pool first, I think with a certain amount of certainty, you can say this is not going to be a committed all-in. It is not. You know that. Like deep down, you can feel it pretty much. A player like Maru, who knows Reynor very well. I know Reynor quite well. I know he's not going to risk it. He won the one macro game. He believes he is better than his opponent. So this pool first is not selling anything. Maru is just going to return back home. I am curious if he's even going to build a safety bunker. He has to finish up this marine. That is a rule. But we'll take a look to see what he actually is going to do. The safest play would be to build a bunker. If he skips the bunker, he's absolutely calling the bluff. He just doesn't care enough. He's keeping the Reaper on the other side of the map. He's just going to get a confirmation. Third CC. Not even a second gas. Bluff called. Yeah. This doesn't work against Maru, I think. I think if you need to have shown in the past to be crazy if you want to pull this off. If you want your opponent to be afraid of you, you need to show that you're capable of being crazy. You need to be capable of taking big risks while you are favored in macro games. That is why people like MC and SOS could do this frequently, you know? And it would still be scary. MC, he could lose 3 games in a best of 7 with the same proxy gate all-in. And then in game 4, go for this, you know, the losing strategy again. Another proxy gate all-in. And he would just do it. So then next time he fakes it, even if he's lost 3 times already, there is a belief in your head that this could be something. That it could be a quick all-in. But here Maru, he's decided, you know what? It is not going to be an all-in. It's just going to be a standard game. And he's not respecting it right now. It was not a roach all-in. It is actually still going to be a different all-in though. Oh my god. Reynor is kind of loco. He is a little bit insane. He must have an insane amount of trust in this build. That is crazy. Maru, by the way, is setting up for mech, I think. This sound... Well, triple gas? He has 2 barracks. No, it's not mech. I'm an idiot. It's a different build than I've seen before, though. It seems interesting. But I'm not sure how great this is going to be. Okay, he scouts it now. He scouts it now. He still has time to respond, by the way. Like, he scouted well. Is his early game opener good enough against this? Is it fine? Are you allowed to hold the natural? Okay, he's going to full wall. I love this. I think you probably want to pull as many workers as you can straight away from your mineral line. This is a phenomenal setup. 2 drops of links coming from the side as well. Okay, pull the boys, pull the boys. The boys are currently not being pulled. Here we go. Bunker finishes up. Do we have enough repair here in the mix? I am not so sure. This eBay is going to get clowned on. Don't get a cancel. Hellions are falling at a very high pace. Maru is gonna die. Oh no. He called the bluff, but the bluff wasn't a bluff. Reynor had a fake knife. He stabbed Maru with it. And then he had a real knife that looked like the fake knife. GG gets called. Reynor wins the series. 2-1.